The following document was never meant to be released. Its pages were stamped "Classified, Black Vault, buried under 7 layers of encryption, and locked behind a kill switch protocol designed to erase every trace if accessed without authorization." Yet somehow it survived. What you are about to read is the final compiled report of Project Threshold, the experiment that changed humanity's definition of control, identity, and survival. Subject 731 was not the first volunteer. He was simply the first to live. Project Threshold began as a desperate answer to a losing war. For decades, humanity had encountered non-human entities, creatures that did not originate from Earth, nor any known star system. They were not invaders in the traditional sense. They did not conquer cities or annihilate planets. They observed, infiltrated, and adapted. Conventional weapons failed. AI prediction models collapsed. Every encounter ended the same way: confusion, casualties, and unanswered questions. Then, someone asked the forbidden question: what if the only way to understand them was to think like them? That question birthed the Neural Interface Program. Early experiments were crude. Human brains rejected non-human neural patterns violently. Subjects experienced hallucinations, seizures, personality collapse. Some screamed about voices that were not voices. Others forgot their own names. By Subject 417, the Ethics Committee resigned en masse. By Subject 600, the program was no longer officially acknowledged. Subject 731 entered the facility on a cold, silent morning. His real name was erased the moment he signed the final consent form. He was a former linguistic specialist with an unusual neurological profile, hyperadaptive synaptic plasticity, abnormally high empathy response, and a brainwave pattern that defied standard categorization. In another life, he would have been a scholar. In this one, he became a bridge. The creature chosen for the interface was designated Entity K9, though researchers privately called it the Mirror. It had been captured beneath the ice fields of Europa after an unexplained research station blackout. K9 did not resemble any life form cataloged by human science. Its body shifted subtly, as if never fully settled into one shape. No eyes, yet it perceived. No mouth, yet it communicated through electromagnetic pulses and neural pressure. The interface chamber was built like a coffin made of glass and steel. When Subject 731 was lowered into the neural cradle, thousands of microscopic filaments threaded themselves into his cortex, spinal cord, and sensory centers. The creature rested in a containment field opposite him, suspended, motionless. At zone 917, the interface activated. At zone 918, Subject 731 screamed, not in pain, in recognition. Neural readings spiked beyond predicted thresholds. Brain activity mirrored. Patterns detected from Entity K9. For the first time in recorded history, human and non-human neural signals synchronized instead of clashing. The room fell silent as researchers watched two minds begin to overlap. Subject 731 stopped screaming. His heart rate stabilized. His breathing slowed. Then he spoke. "It's not alone," he whispered. This was unexpected. No prompt had been given. "It's afraid," he continued. "Not of us, of what's coming." Over the following weeks, the interface sessions grew longer. Subject 731's cognitive abilities changed. He began anticipating questions before they were asked. He described environments no probe had reached. He corrected astrophysical equations without seeing the data. Yet the most alarming change was subtle. His language. He no longer said "they" when referring to the creatures. He said "we" or psych evaluations flagged dissociative identity risk. Command dismissed them. For the first time, humanity was winning information. K9 was not a scout. It was a refugee. Its species had been nearly erased by something older, something that consumed consciousness itself. The entities humanity feared were survivors, hiding in the dark folds of the universe, and humanity, loud, expanding, technologically noisy, had been noticed. During Session 42, Subject 731 asked for the restraints to be removed. "They're unnecessary," he said calmly. "It trusts me now." Against protocol, the lead director agreed. That decision ended Project Threshold. The moment the final restraint disengaged, neural feedback surged off the charts. Subject 731's pupils dilated unnaturally. His voice layered over itself, harmonized by something not human. "You don't understand," he said, smiling. This was never about control. Security alarms blared as the containment field around Entity K9 flickered, not failing, but changing. The creature was no longer separate. Its neural pattern had fully mapped onto Subject 731's brain. Not possession, integration. "We were never meant to be divided," the voice continued. "Your species is the missing adaptation. Attempts to terminate the interface failed. The kill switch did nothing." Subject 731 stood up, wires tearing free from his body, blood floating weightless around him as gravity systems malfunctioned. He looked at the observation window, directly at the cameras. "We tried to warn you," he said softly. "Now we'll protect you, whether you want it or not." The facility lost power at 11:03. When emergency teams arrived 3 hours later, there were no bodies, no signs of struggle, only empty chambers and a single message burned into the reinforced steel wall, carved at a molecular level. Threshold crossed. Officially, Subject 731 was declared deceased. Project Threshold was erased from all records. Publicly, humanity continued, as it always had. Unaware, unprepared. Unofficially, reports began surfacing. People experiencing shared dreams, unknown signals embedded in human neural scans, children describing stars they had never seen, and somewhere beyond the edge of known space, a new consciousness was spreading, one that was neither human nor creature, but something stronger, something born from cooperation instead of conquest. End of file. Access revoked. If you are reading this, it may already be too late.